right way. I mean, a lot of people today think they're doing the right thing. They're not doing it the right way. Amen. We see they want to know why they're not getting results. Because most of the time you're not, the person that Christian or whatever they are trying to be, trying to do things on their own, and maybe they're just not sitting down with the Lord and talking it over with Him. Amen? Amen. That's what I want to preach about this evening, about doing the right thing the right way. 2 Samuel chapter 6 talks about David, and the Ark of the Covenant was not in the possession of David or the children of Israel. I believe it was with the Philistines at this time. That's where we pick up reading in chapter 6. It says, "Again David gathered together all the chosen men of Israel, 30,000. And David arose and went with all the people that were with him from Belial of Judah to bring up from thence the ark of God, whose name is called by the name of the Lord of hosts, that dwelleth between the cherubims. And they set the ark of God upon a new cart, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab, that was in Gibeah, and Uzziah of Ahio, not Ohio, sorry, it's Ahio. The sons of Abinadab drave the new cart. And they brought it out of the house of Abinadab, which was at Gibeah, accompanying the ark of God, and Ahio went before the ark. And David and all the house of Israel played before the Lord on all manner of instruments made of fir wood, even on harps, and on psalteries, and on timbrels, and on cornets, and on cymbals. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzziah put forth his hand to the ark of God, and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzziah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God. So David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach unto Uzziah, and he called the name of the place Perez Uzziah to this day. David was afraid of the Lord that day, and said, "How shall the ark of the Lord come to me?" So they said, and David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David, but David carried it aside to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite 3 months, and the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household. Amen? I want to read just a little bit more, but first I want to go over that. Doing the right thing the right way. Amen? David was a man after God's own heart.
Amen.
Amen. Boy, there's a lot of stories about David. Amen. Here's one today. David had a desire to have everything of the Lord's. Amen. That was supposed to be God's children. Amen. He wanted it. He knew the Ark of the Covenant was the symbolize. Amen. To symbolize God. It was a memorial. Amen. A statute of God that God had told Moses to build. Amen. And gave him some specifics about it. But the enemy had came and taken it away from the children of Israel. And now the Philistines had it. Amen. And David wanted it back. I don't believe it was out of despair. I don't believe it was out of that he wanted something that the Philistines had. It wasn't that. It was in his heart. Amen. To have every bit of God. Amen. That he could have in his place. Amen. Not in his possession, because he didn't claim it to be his. Amen. He claimed it to be God's possessions. Amen. And everything wanted everything. He had a desire to build a temple. He had a desire, amen, for the children of God to prosper and all these things. So what did David do? It said David gathered up 30 of His people. Amen. Probably His best fighters. Amen. Probably some of His greatest statisticians. Amen. Some of His greatest warriors, planners. Amen. All these things. He gathered them up. Said, we're going to go get the Ark of the Covenant. And they went into the enemy territory, and it must not have been much of a battle, because the next thing it said that he rose up and went, amen, and then and got to the next thing it said, and they set the Ark of God upon a new cart. Amen. So they had already captured the Ark from the enemy. Amen. I don't know if they had to shed blood. I don't know if they went in. Amen. And the enemy said, well, we don't want this thing anyway. If you would read back some scriptures back, that whenever the enemy had the Ark of God, amen, that they were in more distress. Amen. Amen. Some of the things that you read that happened when the enemy would steal the Ark of the Covenant, it was a great possession for anybody. It was gold. Amen. It was just a magnificent structure that God had prepared. Amen. So the enemy was always trying to take it, and they knew that this was the heart of the children of Israel. So the enemy would take it. Amen. But then every time it seemed like they would take it, that everything would start happening to them. Amen. When the children of God had it, when the people that treated it right, amen, they were blessed. But when the enemy had it, amen, they were cursed. Amen. Plagues come upon them. Hemorrhoids plagued one group of people. Amen. I'm telling you now, they called them hemorrhoids, but that's what they were. They were hemorrhoids. Amen. And I'll tell you what, it didn't take them too long. They didn't have none of that, whatever that gel is they have nowadays. They said, you get this thing out of here. Amen. Amen. Matter of fact, they delivered it back. That's how they was. They here. We don't want this thing no more. They'd probably walk kind of funny. Yeah. Amen. Come on. Amen. Amen. The curse would come upon them. Amen. But here David said, I want it back from, it needs to be in its proper position. It needs to be in its proper place. Amen. So he took 30,000 of his men, amen, and went and recovered the Ark of the Covenant. And David thought he was doing things right. Amen. They built a brand new cart. Bobby, they built a brand new cart. Probably wood that they had cut down and cleaned off and made it specifically right. Amen. You might say a virgin cart. One that had never, amen, hauled dirt. One had never hauled anything at all. Amen. It was set aside, amen, and specifically made to hold the Ark of the Covenant of God. Amen. Boy, they went in front of it. They had their musical instruments. David was a passionate man for God. Amen. Amen. He had the flutes. He had a big procession going out. Amen. And everything was going good. Amen. They were shouting. Amen. David was starting to, saying, I'm about to give the ark back to my people. Amen. And it come to the threshing floor there, and the oxen, amen, made the Ark of the Covenant to sway. And one man reached up, amen, and touched it just to steady it. Amen. Not out of grief, amen, not out of saying, I just got to touch it, amen, but he reached up to touch it, to save it, and what happened? He was struck dead by God. Amen. You say, now why would that happen? Well, if you read back, amen, that there was a certain way that only certain people, amen, was set apart and consecrated, amen, to even touch, amen, the Ark of the Covenant, amen. And here the problem was that David went to get the Ark of the Covenant. The problem wasn't that he built a new cart, amen. The problem was that he was trying to do something right, but he wasn't doing it in the right way, amen. God had already put down specific ways that the ark should be handled. Amen. God had already put down certain ways that certain people, amen, certain statutes and all these things that should happen. And in all fairness to David, he thought he was doing a good thing. Amen. Amen. He thought he prepared. Make a new cart. We don't want the presence of God on just any old raggedy thing. Come on, amen. Let's do this right. Amen. You had a few musicians up front, musicians up front, playing the harps and all these things, the cymbals and the timbrels and all these things. Amen. And doing everything that he thought was right. Amen. But it said as soon as that he reached up, amen, and touched ark, and the Lord came down, amen, and killed Uzziah right there because of that. He touched the Ark of the Covenant and said David was displeased.